link will be sent out afterwards. Okay, here we go. We are now recording. Welcome. My name is Layla Roberts. I'm director of the North Coast Small Business Development Center. It is May 22nd, 2020, and this is a help event for employees who have been laid off or who know they will be laid off, who want to make sure that they have access to the information and resources available to folks in Humboldt who are in a state of unemployment. So I'm going to review the agenda and introduce the speakers in a moment, but I just want to mention that we're doing this, we usually do this business by business. On the rare occasions there have to be layoffs, but during the pandemic, obviously we're in a crisis. We're gonna keep doing these as often as possible. The recordings will always be available for those who can't sign on in the moment. And I am so sorry that you have been laid off. I am so sorry for the worry that must be bringing to you. I hope that these resources prove helpful to you. And I hope that you will reach out to us, any one of the agencies represented on this call, for help if you think of something later. And we'll talk a little bit about how to do that and what it means. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen, and just want to note that we are missing one of our presenters, but I'm hoping, oh, I see you, Heather. Heather, I am going to promote you to panelist so that we can also invite you to join us on the screen. And there you go. Welcome. That's very nice. Okay. So going to share my screen, and I'm going to go through the introductions and the agenda, and then we will hop right into the unemployment insurance conversation, since I'm going to guess that that's probably the top of mind question for you. So on the line and not visible, but certainly present, are two colleagues, Rene Mbonge from Employment Development Department and his colleague Chuck Begay. They provide employment and workforce services for Humboldt County folks. Also on the line, Apple Cohen from Humboldt County's Department of Health and Human Services, the social services department that helps folks get connected to CalFresh, Medi-Cal, and more. Mallory Nass, who is a colleague of the director, or I'm sorry, I'm always promoting her without, when I shouldn't. She's the program supervisor for the Smart Business Resource Center in Humboldt County, which some of you may just know as the job market, although the job market is actually broader than that. And she will talk, or Mallory rather, will talk about help getting reemployed, accessing skills training, etc. Heather Ponzano, who is volunteering her time from CUNA and Coast Central Credit Union. She's a financial and retirement planning advisor, is going to talk a little bit about how to use or not use your retirement savings if you are lucky to have some during the pandemic. And then we'll talk a little bit about additional community-wide resources. So these are our speakers. This is our agenda, essentially as I laid it out. I'm going to stop recording before we get to the Q&A so you can ask questions freely. And I think it's also worth mentioning that we have folks on the line who are not speakers but are subject matter experts. So if any one of you who has something to weigh in on wants to chat us and say, hey, don't forget to mention, Rev or I will keep an eye on that, and we will loop back as we have time. So we are going to get started with the presentation from Rene and Chuck at the Employment Development Department. What I'm doing right now is I'm bringing their PowerPoint up front here. I'm going to share my screen again and cue it up so that we can play from the beginning. Okay, Rene, it's all you. Please just let me know when you want me to move to the next slides.
All right. Thank you, Leila. I appreciate that. My name is Rene Mbonge, and I am the rapid response coordinator for EDD, the local office in Eureka, and I'm here with my manager, Chuck Begay. So we will get easily into the actual subject, which is the rapid response, which is people who lost their job, and now next is what do I do? So the actions that EDD is taking to handle this historic volume, you know, slide 2, Leila, please.
Yep.
So there are some actions that EDD is taking to handle this historic volume of claims that we receive. The first one has been we have streamlined processes to file claims and pay benefits faster. They have established a new call center for technical assistance with UI Online. It's open daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They assist with registration, password reset, navigation, and online claim filing. They have also upgraded the UI system and servers, and they have an early health checks on EDD systems, minimizing services disruptions. Next slide, please. Now, on this slide, this is what we need to understand. EDD is offering services for job seekers at the AJCC through appointment. And those services are provided at the AJCC, and they are still available. Now, when it comes to our emergency funds for the supportive services on Friday, April 24th, the EDD announced a $10 million to assist California workers that are impacted by the COVID-19 with the funds provided to 42 local areas for distribution. Those local areas will use the funds to provide supportive services such as child care, housing, utility assistance, and transportation costs to mostly underserved populations like the English language learners. The National Dislocated Work Grant on Wednesday, April 15th, the Department of Labor awarded the EDD nearly $24 million in National Dislocated Worker Grant to address the statewide impacts caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Through the local areas, those funds will be provided for temporary jobs and workforce development services to dislocated workers. The grant funding will provide temporary employment opportunities, including cleanup and sanitation of public spaces and humanitarian aid. Additionally, it will provide for employment and training services, including training, supportive services, and job placement into in-demand occupations, especially occupations with increased demand due to the impact of the COVID-19. Some of those funds may be used towards supporting some of the great initiatives established by Governor Newsom, such as the Project Rome Key. Next slide, please. Now, the state of California, when it comes to EDD, these are the three main branches that we will talk about today: the unemployment insurance branch, the disability insurance branch, and the workforce services branch. And within the WSB, we have the labor market information division. Next slide. Now, what's unemployment? Basically, it's a partial income replacement for employees who have lost their jobs or have had their hours reduced due to no fault of their own. It's funded by employers at no cost to employees. It's a weekly benefit amount range from $40 to $450 based on earnings. And there is a $600 weekly stimulus payment that applies from March 29 to July 25, 2020, and a 13-week extension that's available through December 26, 2020. Next slide, please. Now, the Federal CARES Act and the Employment Insurance. The CARES Act provides additional UI benefits to claimants. We have one, the Federal Pandemic Unemployment, referred to as Pandemic Additional Compensation by EDD. It's our actual additional $600 stimulus payment in addition to your weekly benefit amount. Now, the pandemic emergency unemployment compensation is basically the 13-week extension that is provided to UI claimants. The pandemic unemployment assistance, which is the PUA, is actually 39 weeks of benefits for those who usually don't qualify for a regular UI, such as business owners, self-employed, and independent contractors. It does apply between February 2nd and December 26th of this year. There is no waiting period, and it's a weekly benefit amount that range from $167 to $460 on 2019 net earnings. And again, you will still have the $600 stimulus payment that applies between March 29th to December 26th of the year 2020. Next slide, please. Now, let's talk about the pandemic additional compensation. Like I said, it's a $600 per week stimulus payment automatically added to your weekly benefits amount each week if you do qualify for $1 or more in benefits. It's applicable to almost all UI compensation, including work sharing claims and the PEUC extension. However, it does not apply to training extensions or state special school benefit, or SSSB. It does apply only, and that's really important, between March 29th and July 25th of this year, 2020. If you were already paid for the week ending April 4th, the EDD made an adjustment payment for $600 during the week of April 10th, 2020. There are different claim types. We have the partial claim, you have the TRA, the ex-military, the short-time compensation, and etc. Next slide, please. Now, what do we need to understand when it comes to the pandemic emergency unemployment compensation? It is a 13-week extension of UI benefits for those who exhaust their current benefits. The EDD is also awaiting final details to be able to start programming the grants in an additional 13 weeks or federally paid unemployment benefits when an unemployed worker runs out of all of its benefits associated with their regular state administered unemployment claim. In California, regular state benefit payments can be made for up to 26 weeks within a 1-year time frame. Next slide, please. Now, the special provisions for COVID-19. The first thing we need to know is that the waiting period, which is a 7-day waiting period, is waived for regular UI claims filed on or after January 19, 2020. The work search. Customers or UI claimants are no more required to look for work each week to be eligible for benefits. The certification. Customers are now required to submit their biweekly certification for the weeks ending March 14th, 2020 through May 9, 2020. Those payments will automatically be made, including the $600 per week stimulus payment. But in case they work for those specific weeks, they will have to report those wages using Ask EDD. Next slide, please. Now, the unemployment insurance basics. How do you file a claim? There are 3 ways. The first one is online. And most of the time, we actually advise and recommend our unemployed workers to apply online. UI Online is the fastest way at edd.ca.gov/UI_online. It creates the benefit programs online login to access UI Online. Customers may receive a confirmation email within a few days notifying them a UI Online account has been created for them. UI Online technical assistance is available daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to help with registration and password reset. Over the phone, you have to speak with an agent from the unemployment office. Fax or mail. You need to complete a paper application and submit as directed on the form, but you need to allow additional time for processing. Next slide, please. Now, tips when it comes to filing a claim. First, you need to gather your employment information for the past 18 months. You need to apply through UI Online for the fastest processing. You need to use the Save as Draft feature if you need more time to complete the online application. You have until 8 p.m. on Saturday. You need to indicate you're out of work due to COVID-19 for waiting period to be waived. When you select your industry and occupation, select the one that best describes your job. Do not indicate, however, that you're out of work due to a strike or lockout unless it's a result of a labor union dispute over working conditions. And we also encourage our people to see our YouTube video, how to apply for UI benefits, for more information. Next slide, please. What do I do after a claim is filed? First, you will receive important information from EDD by mail. It will be confirmation that your claim was filed, how the weekly benefits amount was computed, and the EDD customer account number used to create your online account. You need to verify accuracy of claim and wage information and notify EDD immediately when that information is not correct. You have to continue to read, review, and respond to all communication coming from EDD. Next slide, please. How do you certify for benefits? To get paid or benefits, eligibility information must be provided to the EDD every 2 weeks to certify for benefits through UI Online and UI Online Mobile at edd.ca.gov/UI_online. It is the fastest way to certify and get paid 24/7. You must register using your EDD customer account number. Most customers are automatically registered and receive a confirmation email. Automatic email reminders when it's time to certify. Now, you can also certify through the EDD telesearch, and the phone number is 866-333-4604. You must enter or create a 4-digit PIN to access the system. If you choose to do it by mail, which is the third way, or to certify, you need to allow extra time for mail delivery and processing. Now, it is important to notice this. Payments are automatically made between March 14th, 2020 and May 9, 2020. Report wages using Ask EDD. Next slide, please. Okay, those are the same information. Next slide, please. Now, get paid through EDD debit card. Once the first payment is made, an EDD debit card will be mailed. You need to allow 5 business days for mail delivery from Bank of America. Due to unprecedented volume of claims, the card may take a few extra days to arrive. That card is valid for 3 years from the date of issue and used for DI, PFL. DI is disability insurance and PFL is paid family leave. UI is unemployment insurance benefits. You need to contact Bank of America for replacement card using the online option or the phone option and customer service. You get cash at ATMs or merchants with cashback options. The card can be used anywhere Visa is accepted. You can set up automatic transfers to any financial institution. You can also set alerts whenever a deposit is made or when you have a low balance. Bank of America customer service is available 24/7 at online. The address is bankofamerica.com/EDD card. If you prefer the phone, it's 866-692-9374. Now, we need to know this. You do not contact Bank of America EDD debit card customer service under any circumstances for questions about your claim. That is only our unemployment office. Additionally, Bank of America branch offices cannot assist with debit card inquiries except for ATM and teller withdrawals. Next slide, please. Now, tips to receive your benefits faster. You need to certify for benefits using UI Online Mobile, or EDD Telesearch. You need to be sure to bookmark the benefit programs online login screen for easy access. You need to set alerts through Bank of America to be notified when an EDD payment posts to your debit card. You need to read and respond promptly if requested to all EDD communication. You need to be available for any phone interviews or to resolve claim issues. You need to access web pages and educational videos on the EDD website. You need to stay well informed by checking EDD's COVID-19 webpage for updates and frequently asked questions at edd.ca.gov/about-edd/coronavirus-2019-HTM. Next slide, please. Get connected 24/7 on Employment Development Department EDD website at edd.ca.gov for information on all EDD programs, latest new coronavirus updates, UI Online and UI Online Mobile, to file a new claim, to certify for benefits, to get payment information, to ask a question about your claim, to update your contact information. And you can also use the self-service phone, which is 866-333-4606. That will help you certify for benefits using EDD Telesearch, to get payment information for your last payment made, and to hear general information about the UI program. Next slide, please. Now, the unemployment insurance phone numbers for the regular UI and PUA claims, it's between 8 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday. In English, most people have the phone number, the public phone number for the English service, which is 800-300-5616. And of course, if you speak another language, you will have to follow the instructions. And for deaf and hard of hearing, you can dial the California Relay Service at 711 and request one of the numbers listed above. You can also have help with UI Online at 833-978-2511. That's daily, which is Monday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can also use the self-service line at 866-333-4606 24/7. Next slide, please. Now, the SDI, or State Disability Insurance Program. It's a partial wage replacement for California workers. It's funded through employee payroll deduction. It's a short-term benefit to eligible workers who suffer wage loss due to a non-work-related illness or injury. Eligible workers cannot be canceled or denied due to health risk factors, pre-existing medical condition, or hazardous employment. Next slide, please. The AJCC, or America's Job Center of California. The AJCC offers a variety of services that bring employers with job openings and qualified job seekers together at no cost. They do prevent the spread of COVID-19. To prevent the spread of COVID-19, the AJCC services are available by appointment only. The Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act and Trade Adjustment Assistance, TAA program information. It's about career planning, skills assessment, resume writing, and interview techniques, labor market information. Next slide, please. Now, for the AJCC, we have the following: job fairs and other job matching services. We do have marketing workers to area employers, and occupational training. Next slide, please. Now, for jobs and training services, for CalJobs, no-cost internet job search system accessible from any computer 24 hours, 7 days a week. CalJobs allows you to tailor and save multiple resumes to submit to employers. Those employers can also view your resume based on keywords. In addition, CalJobs searches the net and sends emails to job listings that match job search objectives. And you can access that at caljobs.ca.gov. Now, we do have special services that includes veterans, that's a one-on-one text coaching and career counseling, and YOP, which is the Youth Employment Opportunity Program, between 15 years old and 25 years old. We do have workshops such as job search, resume writing, and interview techniques. EU clubs, which include job search for professional and technical and managerial workshops. We do have employee recruitment on-site and virtual employee recruitment. Next slide, please. Now, the Labor Market Information Division. The LMID regularly collects, analyzes, and publishes information about California's labor market. It provides economic development and planning information. Types of LMI information available. We do have the occupational profiles and occupation comparisons, projections in employment for occupation and industries by county. We have the growth and decline industries in all counties in California. And you can find additional information on the EDD website. Next slide, please. The U.S. Department of Labor, they consolidate Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, Employee Retirement Income Security Act, and the Affordable Care Act. And if you need more information, the website is dol.gov. Next slide, please. And for those who need to contact the U.S. Department of Labor, the phone number is 866-444-3272. Next slide, please. Now, let's say something really quick about the COVID California. Since the beginning of the coronavirus emergency, millions of Californians have filed for unemployment benefits, including many who lost their job-based health coverage. If your job was affected by COVID-19, or if you lack income because your hours were cut, or if you are no longer working, Covered California is here for you. Covered California is a free service that connects Californians with brand name health insurance under the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. It's the only place where you can get financial help when you buy health insurance from well-known companies. That means when you do apply, you may qualify for a discount on a health plan through Covered California, or you can get health insurance through the state's medical program. Either way, you will have great health coverage. Next slide, please.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for attending the session, and if you have any questions to you, Leila, thank you so much.
I appreciate that. It was so well organized, and I really also want to thank you and Chuck for fleshing out this PowerPoint. There's so much more information here that I'm sure is going to prove useful. I do also want to add that I neglected to mention, if you are a participant and for some reason you either didn't get the link or you are having trouble accessing the link to a Google Drive folder that contains this PowerPoint and all of the materials from today's briefing, please either say so in the chat box or email us at layoffhelp@northcoastsbdc.org, and I'll put that in the chat box as well, and we'll make sure that you get those resources in another way. All right, so I think we're going to segue next to Apple. You're next on the agenda. Do you want me to share my screen or would you like to do it yourself?
Let's see if I can do it.
All you.
Of course, there we go. Share.
You have the power.
Hi, everyone. My name is Apple Cohen, and I am the Social Services Community Liaison and Outreach Specialist. And I'm here to talk to you about the programs that we have that are here to assist all of our community members at any time, but most especially right now with COVID-19 and the big impact it has had on all of us economically. I will apologize if there is any background noise. My economic impact right now is that I am working from home and there are children in the other room who are being very loud no matter what I say. So hopefully they'll stay contained with my husband while I'm completing this. Our social services programs, we are still open as an office 7 days a week. We will be closed, well, not 7 days a week, excuse me, Monday through Friday. It says right there on my slide, thank goodness. But we will be closed this coming Monday for the 3-day weekend for the holiday. The phone number on this slide is the thing that I really want everybody to remember and write down, because any questions that you have after my presentation, I will try and answer in the chat and everything, but anything that you have a question about for your own personal situation can be handled by calling 1-877-410-8809. This is our Eureka call center, and it is fully staffed with eligibility specialists. Their whole job is to register applications for our programs, review eligibility, assist people with getting the benefits that they need and are eligible to, and answer questions. So that's where I started out, and all of the folks over there are really awesome and great at their job. The first program that I'm going to talk to everybody about is CalFresh, which is our food benefit program, and it provides funds used just to purchase food, all unprepared food like you get at the grocery store, but they can also be used at our local farmers markets, which is really, really awesome way to use them. And you can even buy food starts and seeds to grow in your garden with EBT cards. And this is the #1 program being utilized right now by many people in our community. We've had just a really big increase since COVID-19. And I would really encourage everybody either call our call center or apply online to get started to see if you might be eligible, and to apply for this program before you're in a more desperate situation. I know one of the things that I've been telling friends and family that I know who are impacted right now and not working is to go ahead and apply right now. We base our benefit eligibility on everybody's current circumstances. So not what you made 2 months ago or last month, but what you have right now. And we want to make sure that people have the ability to use these benefits instead of using up all of their savings just to feed their family. Let's make sure everything else is covered, all those other bills and expenses we all have. So when you have a change in employment and you're worried about what's going to happen next, I know it can be easy to know that it's going to be better and something's going to come along, but you can get CalFresh in the meantime to just help you out, and I would really recommend applying. The next program is Medi-Cal, and that was touched on very shortly in EDD. But I would say that if you apply through Covered California for those subsidized plans with Blue Cross and Anthem, to know that if you're under a certain income limit, your application goes automatically over to Humboldt County DHHS Social Services. So we receive those and we process them. And so You might apply with Covered California and end up getting mail from Humboldt County Social Services. And it's really important you open that mail and you read it, because a lot of times it says, hey, we really, really want to give you healthcare coverage. We know we can, but we still need proof of something, or we need you to call us and let us know some information. And if you ever have any questions about that, you can call our call center for that as well. The other side of that is, if you're looking at coveredcalifornia.com and it just seems like it might be confusing, or you think you might be in an income situation where you would prefer to apply for Medi-Cal, there's no wrong door. So if you apply for Medi-Cal through us and we find that your income is a little higher, we'll just send your application over to Covered California, and we can put in all of that information that's needed, like life event changes, to make sure that they process that and let you pick a plan. And our workers can even see what's happening in Covered California, look in there, tell you what your case number is, what plans you already have, report changes, do all of that assistance if you're having a hard time going through Covered California. And I've spoken with many people who really appreciate having that local help. Folks who live in Humboldt County and know what you might be going through, and have that local perspective, and also access to that situation and to that system. So just know Medi-Cal is something you can apply through us, but if you apply to California, you might end up with that program as well, and you'll be receiving correspondence from our office then. The CalWorks program is our cash aid program. So that provides a small amount of cash assistance to families, people who have kids who are under 18, or to folks who are pregnant. And that is just to help make people really meet their needs when they're in a pretty desperate situation. But it's a great program. It has a lot of perks to it. It's a multifaceted network that really is there to create the ability for a family to become self-sufficient, and be able to stand on their own 2 feet again when something, especially like what's happening now, happens. I've heard that there are a lot of families who had always been making ends meet, paycheck to paycheck, and now a lot of those folks are not able to anymore. And I really hope that people know that they can come and apply for the CalWorks program. And that program includes help like childcare support and job training support, and all sorts of different assistance that our workers will make sure is available to ensure that a family can make it. And there is one way that you can apply online for all 3 of those programs, and that would be seeforyourself.com, and it's listed there on my slide. But you could also apply for Medi-Cal on Covered California, like I said, and you could also apply for CalFresh on getcalfresh.org. If you decide to start with any of these programs, and at any point when you're going through the process, you're like, I wasn't applying for CalFresh, but maybe I want to add that to my healthcare coverage application, or maybe you're applying for CalFresh and Medi-Cal and you realize that it might be a good idea to see if you can get CalWorks assistance with what you're learning about your situation. Just let any staff person that you're talking to know, and they can make sure that that happens. I realize now that I have the slide up, of course, that for general relief, there is a way to apply without applying in office. We're responding to COVID-19 as much as we can, and I've been getting changes every day. So I just found out that they're able to apply over the phone or by faxing in applications. And I've let all of our community partnering agencies know. So just for any of our programs, if you already go to a family resource center at a school and you know those folks there at your child's school, or if you're already going to Open Door Community Health Center and you know that you could be talking to member services soon, or if you're speaking with Food for People because you need to have that food box right now, All of those agencies work with us and can help you to apply for our programs if you're a little bit hesitant about doing it on your own. But if you call our call center, they're going to be able to get you through to any of our programs and help you out. And generally, those benefits they're a loan program paid in the form of vouchers. The maximum amount that somebody would get in a month is only $303. And it's really intended to be used by people who are not eligible to anything else. So if you couldn't get unemployment, if you couldn't get CalWorks because you didn't have a child in the home, if there was nothing else that you had and you had no savings and no job, then General Relief is the program that you would turn to. For these talks that we're doing right now, I really feel that the other three benefits are the benefits that people are going to be needing to look to. And one thing that I would say is that the pandemic unemployment benefits that Renee was talking about, those benefits are used to look at eligibility for CalFresh, but they're not looked at for Medi-Cal and CalWorks the same way. So there are going to be situations where people apply and you'll hear someone say, hey, I got CalFresh, and then you apply and maybe you don't get that, but you get Medi-Cal. It's all very, very case by case. So that's why I always just encourage everybody, if you are in any type of situation where you could use this help to get you to that next job, to get you through the stay in place order, to get you through this whole crisis in general as soon as possible, and then we can get that assistance to you as soon as possible as well. If anybody has any questions, I'll be here to answer them in the Q&A. And the last thing I wanted to say was that those stimulus payments that people are receiving in the mail, those do not get used to determine eligibility for CalFresh or Medi-Cal. Those are just one-time payments. It's property that you have in the bank at this point for most people, and when you get it, that's really how we look at it. And for CalFresh and for most of our Medi-Cal programs, we aren't looking at how much you have in the bank. So if you have savings and you're thinking, I'm going to use those savings and that's how I'm going to get by, I don't want to use these benefits, there are other people who need them more, just know that that's not how it works. When you use CalFresh or Medi-Cal benefits, you're using benefits that are there for you. And it doesn't take away from anybody else's ability to get these benefits. And at the same time, you can keep that savings, make it last longer, and really get through this crisis in a better place than would otherwise happen. So that's pretty much all I've got. And if anybody is interested in more information about any of these programs, I can provide more of that at the end.
Thank you, Apple. That's very helpful. And I just want to point out, if you want to tweak your slide and fold in that additional bit of detail, and someone noticed that the extra 0 on the 5,000 number had dropped off as well on that little box.
Okay.
Feel free to tweak that, send it, and we'll make sure it's in the downloadable folder so you have the latest information.
I'll do that right now. Thank you.
And I do want to reinforce, because we actually in previous of these briefings for laid off folks did get a couple of people saying, maybe I'll wait, and I don't want to detract from anybody else's ability to access these benefits. You've already paid for them. They are taxpayer funded. Please use them. This pandemic is going to last for a while. Okay, so I believe that, Heather, we were able to get you on, and I see that you are self-muted. You're welcome to, there you go. Oh my God. You are determined to do this. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your volunteer time.
No problem.
Would you like me to call up the one-pager that Mark prepared, or would you like to just do this verbally?
If you'd like to pull it up, that's fine. I've got it right in front of me too, so I'm flexible either way.
Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll pull it up by sharing screen right now. And if you decide that we no longer need it, then we can always
Okay.
segue away from it. Now, the question is, do
Okay.
I find it? Because I've got too many dag windows open. Okay, start talking and I'll share screen in a minute.
Okay. Well, my name is Heather Ponsano. I am an associate financial advisor with CUNA Brokerage Services, and we're located at Coast Central Credit Union. And I'm here today to talk to you about your retirement plans that you may have and options that you have for those. You have three options, and the information that's on the screen there is about the CARES Act, which I'll talk about here momentarily. But if you do have any retirement plans, you have three options. You have the option to leave the account where it's at. You also have the option of rolling the funds over into an individual retirement account, or you can take a disbursement from the retirement account and take all the funds. Now, the decision that you make with those funds is going to be based on your personal situation, and keep in mind whatever decision you make is going to affect you in a different way. So the first option, leaving the money where it is, if you were to do that, you lose a lot of control over your account. With an employer-sponsored plan, if you're no longer with the employer, you are unable to make contributions to that plan. So that does really limit you as far as continuing to contribute for your retirement. You also are unable to really make decisions regarding how the funds are invested. So the next option is you can roll the funds into an individual retirement account. That is a completely non-taxable event. Don't have to worry about paying taxes on that. By rolling into an individual retirement account, you regain full control of your money. You get to make all the investment decisions for the account. You can continue to make contributions. Now, there are annual contribution limits on an individual retirement account. If you are under 50 years old, that's $6,000 per year. Over 50, that's $7,000 per year. But the important thing to remember is you get control with that account, and you also won't pay any taxes. The third option is to take a distribution from the account and take all the money out. Now, if you were to do that, you are going to be taxed on those funds because the money was funded pre-tax, so it is going to be taxable to you. The other potential impact is if you are under 59 and a half, there is a 10% penalty for taking money out of a retirement account. Now, where things are a little bit different with the CARES Act, which is up on the screen there, is if you are withdrawing money for a COVID-19 related reason, they have applied some waivers that you could be eligible for. So if you're under 59 and a half and pull money from your account, they are waiving that 10% penalty fee again if it's a COVID related reason that you have withdrawn the money. And then the other important piece is the tax liability. As I mentioned, if you take the money out, however much you take out is going to be added to your taxable income for the year. Any withdrawals for a COVID-related reason, you are allowed to spread that tax liability out over 3 years rather than paying it all at once. So it does provide you with, I apologize, my dog is taking off here at other dogs. Anyway, you have the option to spread out that tax penalty or that tax liability over the 3 years and not pay it all at once. And I think that's pretty much all I have regarding retirement plans and as far as the CARES Act. Now, if there is anybody who is subject to a required minimum distribution, those are also waived for 2020. So they do not have to take those. But if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to a financial advisor. And before you make a decision, I highly recommend speaking with a financial advisor to make sure whatever decision you do make will work best for your situation and you won't have any unexpected surprises once tax season rolls around next year.
Thank you,
So,
Heather, very
yeah,
much.
thank you.
Okay, so we're nearly at the end of the talking at you portion of this, and I do see that we've been getting questions, so that's great. I am just going to call up a little snapshot here that represents some information that may have not already been shared that might end up being useful to you. And if not, perhaps you will encounter someone else to whom it will be useful. So I'm going to share my screen now. This will only take a couple of minutes and then we'll segue back out. So first things first, we were just informed that College of the Redwoods, which is a participant in the job market network of organizations that helps with employers, workforce development, training, getting skilled up for a new or a better job. They are launching classes this summer that some of you might find useful, or you may know some other folks who would find them useful. And we were asked to mention these in particular because we need to get the word out. Registrations have been slow. I think people are busy and distracted. And if they don't have enough people signed up, they will not be able to run some of these classes without a minimum number. So please know that this flyer is also in your folder of resources. And I do particularly want to point out there are some workshops here that are actually turning out to be particularly useful for individuals with public-facing jobs. So if you have decided that you want to try and get reemployed as soon as possible, there are employers who are hiring. You can go to the Smart Center to find out and get paired up with them, even if it's just part-time, to tide you over. And you know, being in a retail or a public facing job right now is tense and difficult, and having some of the skill sets, the very latest approaches to managing conflict, managing customer experiences right now could prove very useful. The other few snapshots of resources I wanted to make sure you know about. To some of you, this will be very familiar, and to others, it might be new, so you might as well know. You might also find that these additional resources are good volunteer opportunities. So you'll learn this if you embark on a job search and turn to the Smart Center for guidance there. But I want to reaffirm here that there are jobs being posted right here, right now, in Humboldt County from CalJobs, as we already know, but also on Craigslist, on Indeed.com, even in LinkedIn, especially for managerial jobs, and in onwardcalifornia.org, which is a statewide site, as you can imagine. The one that I haven't mentioned, the Humboldt State University, the major hospitals, other large institutions often post jobs in these locations, but also have their own job search pages. So do take a look, and do reach out to the Smart Center if you are having trouble with securing a computer or affording a computer with internet access. They may even have some resources to connect you to for that as well, for online job searches. The other bit of income support that, and it is just a little bit of income support that you probably all know about right now, is the federal economic impact payments. Some of you may have already received yours, but if you haven't, and if you want to pursue that, do go on to the irs.gov website. Here's some information that you will be able to self-serve yourself to. IRS does not have the capacity for a lot of customer service right now, so you're going to need to do this online and by email as well. I'm going to skip past this because we discussed it already. Pandemic unemployment assistance for self-employed people, independent contractors, and other small business owners. Apple mentioned Food for People. Here's a little bit of information about the latest location, hours, and contact info for the food pantry. If you need food assistance for yourself or for a family member, This is not the time to hesitate. There are so many people who never thought they would need this who do. And Food for People is tapping as many resources they can to make sure that folks do have access to what they need. There are 2 community-based grassroots groups that are doing mutual aid. One of them is called Cooperation Humboldt. They're doing COVID-related mutual support. One of the latest things that they've been up to is providing vegetable and herb garden boxes to folks who are living at low and moderate income, self-defined, so that if you want help starting to grow some portion of your own fresh food, you can, and they want to help you do it. The more grassrootsy one, Humboldt Mutual Aid Disaster Relief, is also local. It's Humboldt-based, but part of a national network. And they're doing a variety of things, including making sure that folks who are undocumented or otherwise falling through the cracks receive attention and support as well. So, places to turn for help, but also places to turn for volunteer support if you find that there's time on your hands and stuff you want to be doing with it. Same with Humboldt Area Foundation. This funding that they're leveraging for the pandemic is usually through local nonprofits, and you can learn more about it here on this website. And then finally, it's rather silly that I haven't put this in this resource, but I'm going to add it. Often enough, some folks will use the experience of being forced into unemployment to explore possibly becoming a small business owner or entrepreneur themselves, even if it's, figuring out how to add a side gig or an extra stream of income to your life. And that is where the Small Business Development Center comes into play. You can imagine we've had a massive spike in demand for our services from small business owners who are struggling with survival during the pandemic. But we have also been getting a steady flow of folks who have a business idea and want help developing it out and making sure that they have a good target market, a good financial plan, because they have an idea for something that they think is actually a possible going concern during the pandemic. One example is you might have seen someone posting on our website lately, on our Facebook page. A guy just founded a group called US Vets Deliver. He just started this business because he wanted to bring veterans together to provide food delivery services, and he's launched it, and he's going pretty well, is what he said on Facebook. So good for him. Reach out to us at northcoastsbdc.org or at 707-445-9720 if you want to learn more. And I'll ask Rev if you could please put that in the chat box as well. And I just want to point out that we have been getting questions here. So we are going to segue now into the unrecorded Q&A portion of this meeting. So for those of you who are listening to the recording, thank you very much. I hope this was useful for you. Please share the link around to anyone else you think who might benefit from it. And if you can't access, or want a reminder of the link to the Google Drive folder that contains all of these materials and more that have been shared today, please email layoffhelp@northcoast.sbdc.
Layla, I think you covered your microphone.
Did I? Interesting. Okay. I think
you're audible now.
Okay. If I put my hand anywhere too close to the part of my computer with a microphone, my voice fades. Apologies. Email layoffhelp@northcoastsbdc.org to be directed to the materials from today. So Mallory from Smart Center, Apple from DHHS, Health and Human Services, Heather from Kuna and Coast Central Credit Union, Renee and Chuck from Employment Development Department, and North Coast SBDC's Rev Seaman. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I'm going to stop the recording now and we will move into Q&A.
Sorry, Layla, did you want me to share about?
That's hilarious. We're going to have to find a way to do this video editing. Mallory, you were supposed to go after Apple, and I completely flaked.
That's okay. There's a lot of information.
This is how you know that I have been doing dozens of hours of Zoom calls every week. I completely had a brain fart. My apologies.
That's okay.
Mallory, do you want to share?
I'll share really quickly because I know we got time limits and stuff. So
well, yes, but this is actually an important part of the briefing
okay.
because it has to do with reemployment and access to
Yes.
So go ahead, share your screen.
Okay.
We have until 3:30, and we often don't have more than 10 or 15 minutes of Q&A. So
Okay,
you go ahead, and my apologies. That's so silly.
Okay, so my name is Mallory. I'm a career advisor with Smart Business Resource Center. We are located in the job market of Eureka. Most people don't realize that we are here under the umbrella of the job market along with EDD Workforce Services. We also have AARP in this building. We're just a multitude, a little gem tucked in one building. So what we do is we are a local nonprofit. We work under federal funding from the Department of Labor to be able to help those who have been displaced and dislocated from their jobs get back to reemployment. We also serve adult participants as well. A few ways we do that is by working with our partner agencies to get referrals. We also, when our lobby was open, would talk to people that would come into our lobby and see how we might be able to help them. Some of the ways that we offer assistance is through our website. You can access local job postings. These are verified postings. We call employers, we talk to them about what kind of applicants they're looking for and try to best serve them as well as those who are seeking employment. Let me see. Linger on that. So our website is thesmartcenter.biz, and you can do some job searching here, as you can see. So programs that are available to dislocated workers would be our job search assistance programs. Job search assistance, the way we try to work with you is by matching your skills to employers that are in need. Like I said, we work locally in Humboldt, so we really try to meet the needs of employers and the needs of job seekers. Ways we're able to do that is providing one-on-one assistance with job searching, resumes, cover letters, mock interviews. We can even potentially help you with obtaining interview clothing, work clothing, anything that you may need that would help you overcome your barriers to employment. Specifically right now, we are available to offer some supportive services that may assist you with anything regarding if you are asked to telecommute and maybe you don't have the best setup with internet or a computer. Sometimes transportation assistance can be available. Right now, we're also able to offer assistance with possible support with rent and utilities and things of that nature. So we're really trying to reach out to those that have been highly affected by COVID in this area. We also provide training programs. So this is just, as you can see, our Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 explanations. Our Tier 2 is for enrolled clients. Our Tier 1 is for any job seekers. We offer in our services creating resumes, cover letters, faxing. We also offer typing tests here. So a lot of people are able to utilize our services to get a typing test for those jobs that require you to have a certification for that. We also can help answer questions for filing for unemployment. Like I said, we work with the EDD Workforce Services and try to best meet people's needs. We also offer high test set. We work with our partner agencies for the high set testing, as well as anybody who may be interested in going back to school for any retraining. So we also work with College of the Redwoods to be able to get you connected with, if you're looking for a new career field. Maybe this is a time where you're reevaluating a field that you've been interested about but maybe haven't pursued, and paying for training may be a barrier to you, and we would like to help you try to overcome that. We can pay for tuition and registration. We can help you pay for books, anything under the sun in a syllabus, and then some. So we also have information right now, especially due to COVID, for those that are hiring in this area. There are jobs available, I'm sure you've heard. We right now have temporary access to jobs that are temporary for as far as cleaning and sanitation, public buildings, and other available resources right now. We've been doing some business outreach to those that are hiring and looking for employees. So here's some information regarding that. We do have an enrollment process, like I mentioned. It's really to offer our free programs to you. So whatever we may be able to help you with, that's what we're here for. We know that there's a lot of information coming out at you rapid fire throughout all this, and it can be very overwhelming. So really, we're just trying to help everyone navigate what's available to them in Humboldt County, as well as helping you navigate the path of a new career or obtaining, what you may need to help you get back into employment. So like I said, this is some more information regarding our financial assistance that's available. Mostly, like I said, we're focusing our efforts to those who have been greatly affected due to COVID, whether you've lost your job, are caring for someone who has been quarantined or maybe is at high risk, if you yourself are at high risk, experiencing reduction in hours, anything of that nature. We would really like to help you. Both myself and my coworker Sunshine are here. Our office numbers are super easy to remember. So if you see down here, 707-382-3413 will get you to Sunshine. My information is easy to remember of 707-382-3412, and our main line, which can get you to anyone, is 707-382-3411. So we do sometimes, I'm going to show you the rapid response roll call sheet, because sometimes we do obtain information from employers of those who have recently been laid off, unfortunately, and we do try to reach out as much as possible. So if you get a call from one of us, it's likely that your employer has given us your information and we're trying to do some outreach. If anybody has any questions, hopefully I didn't go too fast. Like I said, we're just here to try to help you overcome and get back to employment when you are ready to do that. So
Fantastic.
that's it for me.
I appreciate your patience with the snafu, and thank you for this information. Actually is really critical, and I'm so sorry that I missed it in the normal flow. I will encourage you all to make heavy use of thesmartcenter.biz, because there really have been additional resources released as part of the pandemic response. When I was unemployed, I said no to certain self-development opportunities because I just didn't want to tap my savings account for them. That is not a choice that everybody has to make this time. So use them. They're there for you. Okay, thank you. I'm going to pause or stop recording now and share both of these recordings around now.